The TED Talk I chose to analyze was Michael Tilson Thomas, principal conductor for the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, whose thesis was Music and Emotion Through Time. Thomas captivated the audience and myself throughout the presentation. He started out with a story about his father and how, without basic tools, his father was hearing impaired and couldn't read music, he was still his greatest teacher. So the story introduced the theme of the talk, music and emotion. Thomas looks directly at the audience, moves around, plays some piano, talks over some videos and slides, speaks with a pleasant conversational tone, and uses hand gestures well. His stories that he interjects really paint a picture of the point he wishes to make. Here's an example of such a story. A kid hits a home run in a New York City stickball game, and as he's running around the bases, is heard singing a triumphant strain from Mozart. Thomas's question to the audience is, where did that come from? How did an early 18th century aristocratic Austrian piece of music make its way to a 20th century street kid in New York? Although Thomas satisfied many of the TED commandments, the one that stands out is number 3, thou shalt reveal thy curiosity and thy passion. He starts right out satisfying this commandment with a story about his father and carries it through to the end. This makes sense since music, like prose, is geared toward evoking emotion, empathy, anger, sorrow, joy. He even explicitly says that he is curious and passionate about how classical music has impacted emotion since the 11th century and how we have inherited that emotive response. Following Nancy Duarte's sparkline structure, as displayed in her book Resonate on page 36, Thomas speaks about how music notation evolved and gave several examples through history of music and notation. Each one of these moments satisfied the what is or what was components of the sparkline. And then the next evolution, what could be, was satisfied by the culmination of how music and notation did evolve, either through development of new notation techniques, technology, or through music's change from being God-centered to being man-centered. These observations lead to his major point, where he defines classical music as a dialogue between the two powerful sides of our nature, instinct and intelligence. He leaves the audience with the thought-provoking question, where does the music go when the musicians stop playing? He asks us to ponder the intimate personal side of music. How does it pass on? What do we take from it after a performance? The final story illustrates the impact that music has on our personal history. Thomas used Nancy Duarte's tacking motion analogy perfectly. The star moment occurs between 2/3 and 3/4 of the way through the talk, when he demonstrates to the audience the difference between a major happy chord and a minor sad chord. His wonderful statement is, the big difference between human happiness and sadness? 37 freaking vibrations. Pause for audience laughter. His delivery was flawless. He nailed completely 3 points of the Gar Reynolds-inspired delivery workshop. He knew what he wanted to say without the use of script or notes. He used slides and videos without text or bullet points, and he had an amazing connection with the audience. This isn't a book report on Thomas's speech, although I wish it were. It was that good. So I urge you to watch the video to listen how he weaves his cool stories in and out of his presentation. I have no idea yet what a Pikakucha presentation is or what the subject matter will be when I have to do one. Sounds like a Japanese anime character. But a lot of the sparkline and TED commandments will depend on the subject, what I'm trying to sell, convey, or what I simply want the audience to think about when I'm done. But after viewing Thomas's talk several times, as well as the fantastic Xander video, I know I will have to really focus on my delivery. I can't begin to approach the style of these experts in such a short period of time, but I will certainly try. I do wonder how much time they have to prepare such a major 20-minute presentation. Eye contact and variation in voice and expression is what I need, judging from comments I received on my first post and augmented by my own self-assessment. Content and visuals should be okay, but my delivery will need work. Thank you very much for listening and watching this presentation. And I welcome any feedback, critique or compliments, or anything else. Thank you very much. Bye.